Hello, friends. Welcome back. A little mellow noodling today, and sometimes that happens. It's sort of it's just whatever comes to mind. The noodling, and especially when I don't have anything in mind. But often it belies the I don't know, the emotions underneath. I noticed this when I was a youth. I would sometimes just sit down and play, and it's very cathartic. when you play an instrument or you do something that gives you sort of instant feedback. And music is certainly no exception to that. It can be really soothing to the soul, not only to listen to, but to play. And sometimes you can get into it where you're sort of listening instead of playing and just sort of letting your hands do their own thing and listening to what comes out. And often I found it's very interesting how sometimes it belies the emotion behind it. So sometimes I would play and I was very angry, and what would come out was something soft and soothing and apparently just what I needed in that moment. Other times I would be sad and depressed, and instead of what you'd expect there, something vivacious would come out and enthusiastic. And it's a very interesting dichotomy, I think, that sometimes what we project is not what we intend. And so perhaps that might be a lesson for today, is that we don't always project what we intend to send out. And often we cannot know how the other person is receiving what we send out or what we intend. And I think it is a trap to try to chase that down once the feathers have been released from the bag. When the feathers come out of the pillow, there's nothing for it. There's going to be everywhere. And you have to, I think, just acquiesce to that people are going to believe whatever it is they believe, whether a misapprehension or whether, you have to stay open to the idea of correction, perhaps. And I always say that I reserve the right to be completely wrong, because I don't know everything. And even on certain topics, I know enough to be comfortable with what makes sense to me. But I'm always looking for more available information. And when that arrives in such a way that makes sense and certainly fits into what I've experienced and what I understand, then I can build on that foundation and let it grow. There are other times when, of course, it arrives and you're like, okay, no. And sometimes I find that is due simply to poor exegesis, right? The idea of presenting these ideas in a way that is a logical formation and makes sense. Just making spurious claims without evidence and claiming it to be so because I said so. And then when you question that, you just don't understand. Okay. Not that way. Hey, Jay Armstrong. I am here. I am with you guys. It's been an interesting week, and even the weekend, and not really to do with anything I really get. It was just personal stuff, really. But as I watch the world around us, there are other things that happen, and bits and pieces that catch my attention in the community and without. And it's like, oh man, sometimes I want to speak up on it, but it's really, again, I would say mostly it's not my business, right? I don't wield any authority. I don't have any say in it. It's just things are what they are, and people going to be what they be, right? And so I'll just leave it at that, right? There's no, I certainly don't care for drama, and I'm not going to fuel a fire in any way. Just, I want to be amused by it mostly, and most of the time I am. Sometimes it's just not very funny when people are mean to one another. I just don't see it. I don't see the necessity for it, and I don't see how it helps. I know that we can get terse at times when we feel wrongly accused, right? And I have before described what I think is the best description of anger, right? It's a powerful motivation to correct a perceived injustice. And often those injustices are misperceived. It's a misapprehension. You didn't understand the meaning, or you just don't have enough information, so you get angry, or you think somebody did something to you, right? Most of the time they just do things. And it's how you receive it that, very few people do things to other people intentionally. They do things because of them, and then, it's how we react to it. So without getting too much all into that sort of thing. I don't want to. It's not my intention to be a bummer. Again, I'm just observing things, and I just go, "Hey, what's going on?" It's just my desire, right? So would simply be that we are good to one another as best we can, and sometimes to to hear people out, right? I know that for me, it was a learning experience, difficult learning experience, to be humble, to listen to other people, and because we all have, despite whatever solid observations we can have in the world, I think no matter who it is, even the brightest people have sort of this myopathy where we just can't. We can't clearly see ourselves. We've got a blind spot right there on us, and we can't really see what we do. And all the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. And so it was a difficult proposition for me some years ago to sit down and listen to, people who cared about me tell me, that I was being an asshole. And the thing is, I wasn't meaning to be an asshole, but I didn't realize how they were taking what I was saying, right? And I mean, really, I could have argued till the cows came home that I really wasn't meaning to be an asshole, and that's true. It's just not in me to mean to be an asshole. But when you're given information by people who care, who say, well, this is how this looks and this is how this looks, and so really, I had to consider that and say, okay, if I care about these people in return, I don't want to upset them, right? What is it to me to change the way I present something, or consider how I say certain things, to not get them to get in a defensive mode, right? I mean, I don't want to offend them. I could hold up my position and say, hey, you just don't understand. That's not my intention. I'm just trying to say this, and you're taking it wrong. Were they taking it wrong? Well, they weren't taking it the way I intended it. But when a number of people, again, who care, say things that say that, hey, when you do this, it kind of comes off this way. Well, I have to consider that and be humble enough to go, okay, I can change, right? I mean, do I have to? No, I sure don't. But I can, right? And especially, again, people that I care about. And so, and there are other times when people say, I get comments from time to time. I don't know if you're here, Eric DeLion. He's here a lot in chat and interact with him in a variety of ways. And, he noted in a comment in one of the recent videos that he didn't realize how much, how many slings and arrows we take, those of us who put content out, and it's a lot. We often don't talk about it because it's just not something you want to focus on. It's not, certainly not anything that's pleasant, right? And I know some people get caught in the back and forth of, they get into arguments with other content creators, and I've seen it, much to my dismay, where even good content creators who are speaking much of the truth, somebody steps on somebody's toes and somebody gets butthurt, and then they go back and forth. And they make a big deal about it, right? And they try to divide the community on taking sides, and I don't find that helpful at all, right? Yep, those unintended consequences, absolutely. You are absolutely right about that, Jay Armstrong. I agree with that completely. But we just don't understand sometimes, right, how these things play out, the little ripples that what we do have. So again, as Eric, pointed out, he's like, I didn't realize you guys, take all this. It's like, yeah, I mean, again, we try to complain about it. It's not, you're certainly not going to go out and change everybody's mind, right? And those people who, are haters or whatever, you're just not going to fix it. I've said before, I'm super delighted. I've been so blessed to have such a great crew of people and a tribe that comes along with us and, is here pretty regularly and joins in, is actively joining in this community. I love it. I love it. And I've said before, we've been relatively troll-free. Not completely. I've never said completely, but relatively. And, my tendency is to not feed it. I just, I have a little patience for it. And if somebody's asking difficult questions, I don't mind answering difficult questions that are asked with respect and honesty, and they're just trying to find information. No problem with that. I don't feel attacked whatsoever. Somebody's just making a point to be a butthole about something. I don't have any point to that. And again, as I read in Proverbs this morning, it does you no good. You're wasting your time to put wisdom before fools, because they just mock it. They can't even receive it. And it's, as I often say, I don't play chess with pigeons, right? They inevitably just knock over all the pieces, and they squawk and flap their wings and shit all over the board, and then fly away claiming victory. It's it's pointless. And so, hey Nemo, welcome. So I just don't engage with that for the most part. But again, I try to stay open minded and humble. To what people have to say that's positive, right? Um, like here's a for example, has nothing to do with really anything, but as I did today, sometimes I'll just noodle before starting if I get everything ready, and I don't get enough opportunity to practice. Those of you who know and been here for a while, just recently got an instrument after not having one for a long time, and so I hadn't played forever, and so I just kind of sacked up and thought I'd play a little bit as a hey, here it is. I finally got an instrument after a bunch of years, and excited to have it, and let's see what this does. And so now it's about the only time I really get to practice or whatever. Just kind of noodle through things and try to get the rust off a bit. And so that's pretty much it. And then some people like it and some people don't. That's fine. And I try now as we go on. If I do that, I try to put a little note at the beginning I have to wait for about a full day or so before live streams fully upload. They have to process them and use their algorithms to make sure I don't say anything naughty. Spill too much gravy. Oh dear. And so anyway, once they're done, then I try to put in a little note, right? The music up to this point, and if you want to just start at the beginning, you can just start there. If you want to bypass all that, so again, some people like it, some people don't. It's okay, and it's not going to probably change what I do. I just I say it's a something I can do to be respectful for those who just want the information. I'm happy to just say, hey, just start here. If you don't want that, you can skip forward. Usually you can tell, even if I miss that, you can tell from, if you just kind of scroll through, you'll see that I usually have something up front, and I can just you can scroll up to the place where the title slide is, and that's going to be usually where it starts. So, hey, thanks, Joe, Timeless Journey. I appreciate that, man. I haven't played in a very long time. It's a little embarrassing. I kind of blush a little bit. It's also why I keep it short, because it's just, I never have anything in mind. I just start and see what comes to mind. And often that sets the tone for, what we do here. If I don't have a lot of, if I don't have a lot of content ready, or something in mind, often I will just sort of let the Spirit guide me and say, where should this go, right? What should we talk about? And today I just kind of started with, with playing the music, and again, it came out very different than the mood that I had when I sat down to play, and that kind of got me, thinking. And so, if you've been here since the beginning, now you know how this thought process works, right? I just I observe and I try to go with the flow and be in the moment. I think that often works best. Sometimes my best laid plans, I had a really good idea, and then something hits me out of nowhere, like that episode where it just hit me so hard and so completely fully formed. It just seemed like the timing is right, just to do it as quickly as I can and get it out there, even though I was terribly unprepared to do that. And so that's where I try to. Oh, thank you, Winston. I was so embarrassed by that to cover a book of love. I actually was almost went and deleted it, or at least scrubbed that part of the beginning there, because it was just I haven't done that singing for certainly in a long time. It's really rusty. And then I got some good comments on it. I thought, I in the moment I felt led to do it, so I did it, and then I wasn't happy with it afterwards. But I was, again, I'll leave it there if I was poked to do it right, then I should continue, do that. So it's, again, I have to approach this with a mindset of, this is really, this isn't about me, right? It's not about me trying to look cool or smart or anything like that. The only reason I do this, and I've said this before, is really to try to pass on information as I can, or share observations and hope that they're helpful. And if they're not, again, there are plenty of other content providers who can give a variety of things. I have made it a point not to dig too deeply into some of these, conspiratorial things, or some of these rabbit trails, because there are guys who do a great job at that. And I can certainly, do my own. You've seen on, if you come to Secrets of Saturday, Saturn and you look at some of the content that we provide, certainly am a decent researcher and I can do that. But that's not what this is about, right? So the weekend sessions that, that we get together for here, my intention on unintended consequences is really to share the community, right? And what we're doing with the Awakening Project, and kind of give you an idea of the background of some people in the community and how we got here, and to let you know that you're not alone and that we're all together, and to build that sense of community. What I do on Sundays, again, a little bit more of the stuff from Scripture and some of the spiritual views. And again, these are my views. Much of them I cannot, there are things I cannot prove. And I don't have I'm not compelled to. I'm not compelled to try to convince or convert anybody into my way of thinking. I can only say that the relationship that I've had with my Creator has been of such a qualitative value. And it has, I cannot overstate that it has completely changed my life and who I am in a way that is so positive. Of course, I would want to share that with others who have interest in moving forward in a positive step. And I think those of us who have gone down many of the rabbit holes come to realize that the story that we are given of a spontaneous evolutionary process and creation is not only poppycock, but strives specifically to remove our any potential connection with the Creator. And so again, like many of these things, when they say, hey, don't look there, that's a great place to go look, right? So it's just like the fact checkers that have come out recently. There was no fact checkers until some of the information started to leak out, right? And they're like, oh, we better, no, don't look at that. So when you're being told specifically don't look there, it's a great place to look. So if there is the possibility that you can get love, acceptance, and wisdom from your Creator, they would not want you to do that, right? So that's the way these guys play. So that's get a great place to go. And so again, I would just that's my only thing, is to encourage people to look there. Again, I'm not going to tell you what is right for you or what you should do. That's not my job, and it's not within my purview, right? And so I stay the hell out of people's journey as best I can. I've been willing to be, I don't know if you want to say a mentor or big brother to a few people who have asked that, and they want to pick my brains on a few things, and I'm happy to do that. Again, when they're asking questions or feeling uncomfortable or working through things, I'm happy to give them my take on things, right? But I'm loath to give advice, right? You should do this or you should do that, because it's not my journey, it's not my walk, it's yours, right? Each of you are on your own journey, and you need to work out for yourself what is the best path for you. And I have to be comfortable and confident, even that those that I care for a great deal, if I see them walking in what I think is probably a dangerous or wrong direction, I often have to step back and go, it's not my job even to try to get the hook and go, hey, don't go over there, right? Because the first thing you do, you're going to try to keep me from that good information, right? So you have to just trust that they're going to find their way back to the right path, right? They're going to, when people develop good discernment, they'll figure it out. And so this is why, again, I don't find it necessary to take on, anybody who I think is, putting out misleading information or false information. I figure, it's, again, none of my business. And if I did, let's say if I did that, you not only hurt people's feelings who think that they're getting some good information there. And again, I mean, what good is it going to do? Really, ultimately, you got to find out for your own, for yourself, what is right for you and what is not. And as I said, yesterday, and talking to Jason, that the reality of things is that you can only present a snapshot of what you see in the world in the same way that a photograph presents a two-dimensional, and in many ways accurate, at least as well as it's able to provide a two-dimensional accurate snapshot of what it's, that point, that viewpoint, that perspective of the world. But you can't see anything between. There are occluded places, there are hidden places, there are things you can't see. And again, it's only two-dimensional. And it certainly doesn't represent the entirety of the world in any possible way. But it's not intentionally misleading. It's just a perspective, and you have to put a bunch of different perspectives together to get a better idea. And that's why I'm so open to understanding and talking to people who have very different beliefs than myself, that, there is, I don't know, that there's information all over the place, right? So I try to gather it where I can, eat the meat throw away the bones, that sort of stuff. Um, what about the poppycock? Well, the poppycock, I think, I point that stuff out with the assumption, at least I guess the presumption, and maybe that's the wrong way to approach it, but I point that out with the idea that most of us already realize that stuff is poppycock. We're just mocking it, right? It's not like I don't feel like I have to show anybody, hold their hand and go, this is right and this is wrong, because most of what we get from the mainstream is poppycock, and we just, laugh at it, right? But then there are, like you said, there are others. Oh, yeah. See, if you're not exactly like me, then you're going to delete. Exactly, that's the mindset, right? That many people have. It's sort of this, self-policing cult, groupthink cult mindset. That if anybody, aberrates from at all from their narrative, that they can't be a part and they got to be kicked out, right? So keep in mind, a heretic is someone who believes almost exactly the same thing you do, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be in those same groups. So, well put, Greg. Were your ears burning? Yes, they were, Eric. I was talking about you. I did. It's over now. No, it's all good, man. Oh, fuck, that is so good. Yeah, Eric, I just mentioned that your comment that you didn't realize that, we take these hits, people snark at us and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's not something we bring up too much usually. But then there are those people, I don't know, there's a guy yesterday who spent, 8+ hours pontificating about the 90-minute conversation Jason and I had. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Somebody sent me a link and I'm like, really? I have no interest in that whatsoever. I know what we said. Why does the lion care about what the mouse thinks? It's just like, no. Anyway, so did I? Oh, that's not you. Did you drive your bus? Let's see. Yeah, let's do this. I want to. So this is going to be a little bit odd again. So this is the Sola Scriptura episode. It's non-monetized, and but I'm going to be kind of all over the place, just sort of like the opening noodle was. A little bit of all over the place. So I want to share with you. So this morning on Ancient Wisdom for a Modern World, I read the Proverbs for today, which is the 23rd chapter of Proverbs. But I want to, let's see if I can find this here. I'm going to share with you the 24th chapter of Proverbs. It was an interaction that I had somebody earlier in social media. And again, I'm not going to show it to you. I'm not going to go through it or reveal who it was. It doesn't matter. It's just the idea behind it. So, we often point out that words have meaning, right? And, Cordell, DZ Tom, he had a thing the other day about, registration, and I saw it rightly taken apart. Right, Regis has to do with the king and to transferring your title to the king, and the whole thread was right on. Right, so yes, that words have meaning, and if you dig into the etymology of words, you can understand better what is happening. And sometimes there are intentional semantic drift that happens. For example, anarchy is one that we talk about. And without a, right? And then archy, right, is a king. So without a king, without a ruler. But it's been changed to mean the semantic drift intentional, right, means that it has been changed to mean something completely different. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, Francis, yes, I know. Yes, it is. The butter in the coffee. Oh, my word. I was hesitant. I had trepidation before I did it the first time, and oh my gosh, yes. I'm sure if a cardiac doctor saw what I did to coffee, they'd be horrified. But if they drank it, they'd be like, oh God, I'm hooked. It's amazing. My wife, I'm just going off on a tangent here, but my wife and I, almost every morning when I make the coffee, we just stand in awe, right? And again, it's like, it's not, me slapping myself on the back or anything. I mean, it's not, I didn't make the coffee. Dad made the coffee. I'd all hail the coffee, man. Praise the bean. But I've got it worked out to where it's just amazing. And every morning it's, we should be used to it by now. I've been making it this way for a long time. And almost every single morning, the first sip, we just like, oh my God. And it's the coffee that makes you swear. It's just like, holy crow. And it's amazing every time. It's like every sip is just like, whoa. All right. So where was I? Oh yeah. So, but then you get people with this words have meaning thing, and they go off. So yeah, there's semantic drift. It's intentional, right? They turn anarchy into meaning chaos, right, and lawlessness. That's not what it means by any stretch, except for they've turned it into meaning something that it did not. So Regis Feldman. I don't know. I was thinking Regis. That's a Philbin, right? And I actually played in a band called Egregious Philbin. So that's a long time ago. I also played in a three-piece band called Fat, Drunk, and Ugly. And people go, which one are you? I'm like, take your pick. Does it matter, really? Anyway. Okay, so this idea that, words have meaning, and then you get those people who, they want to just go off homonyms, right? Or some just random thing. Like, well, green and greed are just one letter away, right? So you have greed after the green, and it starts with GR, so that means Gravelers did it. Yeah, okay. And I saw something like that, right? And then I see this follow-up, and they were corrected. Somebody pointed out, no, this is where, these are the, and then there was just like this back and forth, calm correction, and just, you don't understand, and you don't know what I meant. Well, I think you said what you meant. You were wrong. You pulled something out of your ass, and now you're trying to defend it. You got no evidence, and it's wrong. It's just, there are some things, they're just like, there are objective truths, and some things are just wrong. And then it makes everybody look bad, right? So it's like, don't be on my team. Okay, which one was I? Yeah, I told you, it doesn't matter. No, the jokes don't get any better, I promise, after this long. Yeah, they don't stop either, but they're not going to get any better, I'll tell you. I am still trying to quit smoking. I let it go out. I have a couple of drags on it, and I let it go out, and I light it again and let it go out. So, and my wife knows that I have this proclivity for smoking when I kind of pontificate, right? So I can go a good time between cigarettes, but all of a sudden, when I start talking, it sort of helps me focus, and then so she can always tell when we start talking between her and I that suddenly, like, she's like, "Oh, you're gonna go smoke, aren't you?" I'm like, "I can't help it." It's just something I do. Maybe it's something with my hands. I used to love smoking a pipe when I'd have conversations as well. Thank you, Lynn. I enjoyed my conversation with Jason as well. Jason and I have known each other for a while, but I learned some things yesterday that I didn't know, right? We had some conversation. It was a good conversation. And again, unlike some of the accusations, there was no meaning of damage control or anything. It's like we had that scheduled for over a month. We just had to be able to get to it. And so... it was a conversation we've been meaning to have for a while. So, yeah, you're not quite trying to quit. That's all right. I've quit smoking on several occasions successfully for up to 2 years. It's just always a slippery slope. It's one of those things that once I quit again, I can never touch it, right? It's always this thing where I think I got it under control now, and I can have one with a drink or with coffee or after a meal or whatever, and it's just, I can't, right? I'm addicted to it, and I can't touch it. And there are some people who can, I'm not one of those people, right? And there are some people who are addicted, for example, to alcohol, and they can't have it, or they go off the deep end. That's not me. I have a sip. It doesn't, not interested. I'm not interested in any more than that. But when it comes to tobacco in the current form that's provided to us now, again, I don't have any moral issues with tobacco, smoking a pipe. Everything I understand from ancient culture, especially from Native American culture, it was a gift given to us by Dad, like all growing things. But when it gets turned into something else, like, coca leaf gets turned into cocaine, that may be taken a little far, right? So, anyway. So there you go. When it comes to that sort of stuff, like I have no... Not only do I have no moral compunction about, drugs or anything like that. I mean, I don't find it a character flaw. I think having addictions is troublesome, and that when people submit themselves to an addiction, then the drug controls them, right? And that's probably not helpful, right? But when it comes to the ingestion of naturally occurring substances, things that grow from the ground, then I think that was put by the Creator, and I think, and my observation is that specifically the things that are prohibited are those things that might somehow thin the veil and allow you to see that there is more to life than what we're told. And so that would be the reason that they'd want to turn that upside down and make it inaccessible for people, whether that's ayahuasca or whether it's peyote or psilocybin mushrooms, whatever it is. I don't have any moral compunction about that. And it's, again, even if I did, it's not my business to tell anybody else what is right or wrong for them. The only things that I think has any morality to it, really, in that sense, is, do you harm someone else? Right? I do think, again, from my point of view, it is probably not a great thing to harm your own temple. If that's the body that you were given by the Creator, it acknowledges the Creator poorly to damage it intentionally. However, again, it's not my place to tell anybody else what they should or should not do. But it is my observation that intentional harm is probably not good. But again, especially when it comes to these sorts of things, I don't believe anybody has the right to tell you what you can or cannot ingest in your body, what you can or cannot do with it. Again, I go by this principle: all things are lawful, but not all things are profitable. Sure, there's a lot of stuff I can do that would not be outside of my relationship with Dad in terms of strictly prohibited. But on the other hand, it wouldn't help my growth toward being like him, or my relationship with him, or my relationship with others in any way. So why engage in it? I don't know. All right. So I wanted to share with you after this morning doing Proverbs 23. I happened to see just kind of light on Proverbs 24. I thought I'd come back to this, and in part because of some things that I saw on social media today, and I should go by the advice I give my wife, which is never read the comments. But I particularly like this in the King James Version, but it's a little stilted, so I'll do it in New Living Translation. And this is, again, Proverbs 24. I will, let's see here, come over here, and I will grab, let's see here, trying to find something to do here. Just kind of makes it meditative a little bit. Hopefully it's not too distracting. Don't envy evil people. Let's just do that again. Don't envy evil people or desire their company. For their hearts plot violence, and their words always stir up trouble. A house is built by wisdom and becomes strong through good sense. Through knowledge, its rooms are filled with all sorts of precious riches and valuables. The wise are mightier than the strong, and those with knowledge grow stronger and stronger. So don't go to war without wise guidance. Victory depends on having many advisors. Wisdom is too lofty for fools. Among leaders at the city gate, they have nothing to say. A person who plans evil will get a reputation as a troublemaker. The schemes of a fool are sinful. Everyone detests a mocker. If you fall under pressure, your strength is too small. Rescue those who are unjustly sentenced to die. Save them as they stagger to their death. Don't excuse yourself by saying, "Look, we didn't know." For God understands all hearts, and He sees you. He who guards your soul knows you knew. He will repay all people as their actions deserve. My child, eat honey, for it's good, and the honeycomb is sweet to the taste. In the same way, wisdom is sweet to your soul. If you find it, you will have a bright future, and your hopes will not be cut short. Don't wait in ambush at the home of the godly, and don't raid the house where the godly live. The godly may trip 7 times, but they'll get up again. but one disaster is enough to overthrow the wicked. Don't rejoice when your enemies fall. Don't be happy when they stumble. For the Lord will be displeased with you and will turn his anger away from them. Don't fret because of evildoers. Don't envy the wicked, for evil people have no future. The light of the wicked will be snuffed out. My child, fear the Lord and the king. Don't associate with rebels, for disaster will hit them suddenly. Who knows what punishment will come from the Lord and the king? It is wrong to show favoritism when passing judgment. A judge who says to the wicked, "You're innocent," will be cursed by many people and denounced by the nations. But it will go well for those who convict the guilty. Rich blessings will be showered upon them. An honest answer is like a kiss of friendship. Do your planning and prepare your fields before building your house. Don't testify against your neighbors without cause. Don't lie about them. Don't call on them for not wearing a mask. No, it doesn't say that. And don't say, "Now I can pay them back for what they've done to me. I'll get even with them." I walked the field of a lazy person, the vineyard of one with no common sense. I saw that it was overgrown with nettles. It was covered with weeds. Its walls were broken down. Then as I looked and thought about it, I learned this lesson. A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, then poverty will pounce upon you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. My friends, don't envy evil people or desire their company. And don't be glad when evil befalls them. Take care of yourself. Do the things that you know are right, and your way will go well. You can avoid a lot of hardship. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox, but I thought it appropriate for the day. Let's see. I intended at the outset to keep this fairly short, and we will. But I will do this. I think we have time. If you want to call in real quick, I'll take a couple of calls today. If you want to share your thoughts on any of that stuff or anything you've experienced. I got one other thing I want to share from a listener who shared something with me, and I hope they don't mind. Person emailed me today. They've been a truth seeker for a while, for about 15 years, and has to do with the fires in California. They woke up a week ago, Sunday morning at 2:30 a.m. I have a little cabin out near Santa Rosa, and they woke to wind, lightning out of nowhere. Sat up in bed, looked out the 12-foot high windows, and 150-foot tall redwoods were bending like 50 feet to one side and staying there. And they sent a couple of pictures. I'll try to bring those up as well. They just then the wind hit the side of my cabin like a fist. It felt like an earthquake. Everything on my deck slid about 3 feet in unison. Now, I've lived in and around Santa Cruz all my life, and a typical lightning storm gives off about 10 to 15 strikes and no more. I spent a number of years in north central Texas, and lightning storms can get really crazy there. But here's what he described, and this I have seen something similar. We were experiencing 10 strikes a minute with hardly any thunder for about 3 terrifying hours, and I don't scare easily. There was one storm that I experienced in Texas with more than 6 hours of lightning, and every direction, every place you could see, there was 5 or 6 lightnings going off at the same time, and there was almost no thunder, which is remarkable because, thunder is the sound of the exploding oxygen in the air when it happens, and so who knows what's going on there. But then they kind of go on to describe that talking to a number of their friends, they all came to the same conclusions. This is, again, unnatural. What they saw and experienced was certainly unnatural. And this was right before the fires. This was triggering the fires. And this is certainly appears to be the results of some kind of weapon, right? Directed energy weapon. And what we see is exactly their locations are all these places that, again, we've associated it with the high-speed rail system, both in California and some pipeline in Australia, in other places. But it does look to me whether it's specifically related to those things or not. It certainly goes along with the idea of Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, which is to get people out of the rural areas and packed into cities. So thank you to the listener who sent that. I've got your information. I will give you a jingle here this week. I just really tied up with a bunch of things, and so I'm just trying to make time for everybody. So, but thank you for that information, and I'll try to get some of more of those pictures as well, because it's fascinating stuff, and again, firsthand, boots on the ground type thing. So very interesting stuff there, things that we see going on. Again, 206-734-4325 if you want to call in. Just have a few minutes. Again, I had intended to keep it fairly short today. Just wanted to kind of share with you where I was at. Didn't have a long... Oh, the other thing I wanted to share was, did have a couple of questions about last week when Wayne and I were talking. We shared from the book of Joshua. There were some questions about its validity in terms of Scripture and what to do with that. Now, keep in mind that as we mentioned or last week, the book of Joshua and the book of Enoch are both mentioned in the canonical book of the Bible. In fact, there are 34 Bible verses that quote the book of Enoch. So we know that to be, again, an integral part of the whole thing, and we can guess why it wasn't put into the original canon, but it does seem to have a lot of information. Again, that's not only it was considered Scripture by those who are in the Bible, as well as was the book of Joshua. Book of Joshua is quoted at least twice, and probably a third time, depending on how you do the spelling there, because the third one is in Samuel, and it says the book of the just, which is exactly what the book of Joshua was called to those people. So there's at least 3 quotations in Scripture from those other books. So in regard to their validity, as looking at these things, again, it's extant source, and so I look at all kinds of extant sources for valuable information, and these things do have... Whoa, hey, that's louder than I expected. 515 area code. Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Who's this? Hello? Are you there? Are you there? If somehow I dropped that call again. I was trying to catch the call there. I don't see it, however, so somehow it jumped away. We'll try it again. So if somehow I tried to accept rather than reject the call, if I made the error, try again. And yes, it does. It adds context. Absolutely. So try that call again. My apologies if I hit the wrong button there. I was trying to accept that call. Let's see if I can go back, because when I don't even see that it showed up. It's the weirdest thing. It doesn't show that it was there. Okay. See, it says there. It shows that I have one thing going, but not... it's not showing me the call. So, I don't know quite what to do with that. I thought that I had taken the call, and it shows that I'm on the line, but so maybe I can't even take another call. Let's try this. I will exit entirely out of Skype, start it again, and we'll try that again. Maybe that's why you couldn't get back in. We'll try it one more time. Load up a new version of Skype there. And we'll try that again. Yes. Oh. Okay. Stop that. Yes. I didn't need you to reinstall it. No, I just wanted to instantiate it again. We'll try again. There's that. Welcome back to Skype. Okay, now I show that there was a missed call with a voice message. So, my apologies there. We'll just try again, and I don't quite know what happened there. Maybe Skype just went sideways on me because I tried to accept the call, and then it showed that I had a line open, but I couldn't see anything. So if you want to try again, 206-734-4325. That's 206-734-4325. We'll try again if you like. And again, my apologies if that something went kind of sideways there. And now I got stuff jumping all over the place. So I'm trying to bring that up again, bring that back up there. And okay. So anyway, yes, those ancient books again provide context, and I even I read some of the books even that are extant to and coincident to, but are not part of the Quran. They have a lot of the stories within Islam have some interesting information in them. Okay, does that mean I'm Islamic? No. Oh, here we go. We're gonna try again, and it dropped. I didn't even get a chance to get over there, so. I don't know what's going on. I saw it. I saw the call. I didn't even get a chance. I put my mouse right on the accept the call, and it went away. So you want to try one more time? I'll hang out here for a few more minutes. We'll try it one more time. Well, as an intellectual, experiment, L.C. King, maybe. I will say again, this is my experience. We'll try it again. Let's see here. I see it. We're going to accept the call. We're going to try. Hello, are you there? I see you now. Can you hear me? Are you there? This is Baldini. Who's this? Are you on mute? It's 512 area code. Are you there? I don't hear anything. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on now. Are you there? I heard the line pick up, and then it went away. So now it's just kind of on mute. Okay, so they hung up. We'll try one more time. I don't know. All right, so maybe wait one more time. So, get back to, let's see. Anyway, the idea of Jesus being Mercury, again, my experience is that I know a guy who identifies with that name and with that person, so I don't think he's Mercury, but as an intellectual thought experiment and how things are laid out, I think a lot of stories are told that try to put a lot of things together, sort of like the zeitgeist idea. They try to overlay things on top of each other. Depends on where you want to pick up that story. So, it was you, Allison? Let's see. Are you 512 area code? Because I keep trying to pick it up. So, but I would love to take your call if you want to call in. I'll put the number up one more time, and again, we'll try to make it happen. If not, I will just let you guys go for the rest of the day. Do I want you to call in to test? Yeah, if you want to call in and say hi, I'd love to take your call. Again, I don't have a lot of time today. I have just a huge list of things that need to get done. But again, I do this to spend the time with you guys. So, exactly. You can call Dawn. I'd love to say hi to you, unless you're shy. I've never known you to be shy. Have I ever heard of cable pianos? Cable Nelson is a brand of piano. Typically, my experience with them is that they primarily made spinets, although in the around the early turn of the last century. Okay, pick this up. I got a 604 call. Hey, this is Baldini. Who's this?
It's your most favorite person ever.
My most favorite person ever, because you're so hip, even if you're informal about it. How you doing, Don?
That's right. I'm great. How about you, Baldini?
I am, I always say I'm fat, bald, and ugly.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
You are the most beautiful, radiating person I've ever not met in my life.
Oh, man, that's so awesome. Thank you. Well, we have to fix that. We are so close to one another. And if there wasn't that stupid border thing there, arbitrarily placed for no reason, to keep us from one another, where we could have some wine and some delicious food and a little herb, that would be be outstanding.
It would be incredible. And there's so many of us in BC and Washington and even in Oregon that we could, meet up every 6 months or something just to catch up and give each other nice hugs and,
Yes.
just welcome each other in the community.
I would love that. In fact, I'm
Yeah.
still working on trying to get Jason and Rose up here for a Shoot the Moon
That would
screening.
be awesome.
Yeah, to try to get that together. We were on track for a minute, and then some things happened elsewhere, and then right when we tried to line things up again, this all nonsense started. We were right at the first of the year. We were like, okay, let's revisit this and try to make it happen. And then, crazy stuff happened. So
Always.
yeah, who knows? Let's see. 512 is trying to call back again, but I don't think I can.
Okay,
I
go
don't-
get it. We know
Okay.
that it's working, so maybe it's something on there, and I got to get back to my
Okay.
steaks. I love you.
Love you, kiddo. Whoop, and then they went away. Bye. And then they went away. So, oh dear. You can see how professional. This is a great professional shot. And it's again, I don't even intend it to be that way. I used to do radio a long time ago, and did that for a living. This is not that. I don't do it as a radio show. I don't feel like I'm talking to you or at you, just with you. And that's why the chat. If we yelled at each other from across the border, well, they would say, "Oh, you can't sing, you can't yell," right? It's just nonsense. Yeah, borders are absurd. I agree with that completely. It's just arbitrary. It's just like, okay, we're gonna be over here and you're gonna be over there, and Mom, they're touching me. It's like kids in the car. You were banned from Canada because of a DUI. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they. Okay, we're gonna try again. 512. Hey, 512. I got you this time. Are you there?
Yeah, you do.
Awesome.
Yeah, you do.
Woo!
Let me know if I go. Just hang up if I get all robo voice on you.
Okay. It happened before, right? So I think you're in a weird spot. What's on your mind today?
What's not on my mind? Georgia is on my mind.
Okay. I had a lot on my
That's
mind,
a
but
joke.
then I sold it. The jokes still aren't going to get any better.
Yeah, they'll get worse from here on out.
I know.
I just wanted to say hello.
Well,
Go ahead.
No, I'm glad you did. I'm delighted. How are you doing these days, by the way?
How am I doing these days?
Because last time we talked, you were a little bit stressed out. You had a whole bunch of stuff going on, and but you were working through it, and you seem like you're in better spirits.
Well, good. Appearance is everything.
Well, it's not everything, but it's
I know,
how you are.
another joke. Things are how they are. It's just perspective.
Yeah,
I know
that
when you
for
change
sure.
the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yeah, it does. That's for sure. Say hello.
And I like my coffee with a little bit of ghee and with ghee and coconut oil.
Oh, that's really good.
Together.
I have together.
Yeah.
See, I've used both
Yeah.
coconut oil and ghee. Well, not together, but both medicated coconut oil and when I say medicated, I mean THC infused. So both green butter and green coconut oil, and it was amazing. If you don't get, it'll set your day a little sideways if you do it in the morning, but. But just a little dab will do you. Really, really delicious. So I can highly, if that's your thing, if you like a little bit of the green stuff, a little green butter or a little green coconut oil goes really well in an early morning cup of coffee. I got to tell you.
Right on. It'll help with those side effects.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So are you getting any of the? I know that you are in the South. We'll just put it that way. Any of the effects from the weather down there, your way?
No.
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 Yeah. I figured you're too far inland
No.
for that.
I'm centralish.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and let you take another caller
Okay.
that probably is a little more eloquent this evening. And
No.
I just want to say hello and thanks for the stickers.
You're welcome.
I noticed you got my e-card.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and I've been hearing, so did you get those from Sophia Small Storm?
No. No, I
No,
got
okay.
them from somebody
She
else
has,
who
she
was.
has the same one.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
they might have been, and they might have got from the same person. We got them. At least I got them from a person who had them made. Super, super, very kind person. But they're remaining anonymous. But they did tell me that they'd given them to it. They had thousands made, and so that they gave me a bunch of them to give away, which I have been. And you got some of them as well
You
as some of
did.
our other listeners.
I did,
Yeah,
and I appreciate that.
you're welcome.
I did. I was only expecting one,
I know. I try to
and
give.
you did exceedingly abundantly above.
That's exactly how that I learned to be from someone else. You know what I mean?
Pressed down, shaken together, running over.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I know.
I learned it from somebody else.
Yeah. And what is it? Love them like it's like heaping coals upon their head.
You got it.
You know?
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Just love them.
Exactly.
Compassion.
Exactly right.
Cures, cooties.
Right. Love
And
covers
crazy.
a multitude of sin. That's for sure. Allison, thank you so much for your call. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Love you,
All
kiddo.
right, I'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Allison. I appreciate your call. So, yeah, I appreciate it. And if you want a sticker, it says, I do not consent, just send me an email, unintended.consequences3@gmail.com. Make sure to include your mailing address, and I'll send you some stickers for free. You can tell the world that you do not consent to their poppycock. So, again, that's unintended.consequences3@gmail.com. And just make sure to include your shipping address, and I will send those to you right away. I probably have time to take maybe just one more quick call. If you want to call in, 206-734-4325. That's 206-734-4325. And, oh, yes, you did, Sue and Billingtano. And even as far as I can tell, Bunny, you got your stickers, right? Hey, Bunny, it's great to see that you're doing well, man. Our friend, as far as I can tell, I know you've only been kind of putting up some music lately, which is really good. I missed some of your thoughts on things, but it's great to see you here in the chat. Again, 206-734-4325. If you want to call in, just have a couple more minutes. I won't be too disappointed. I mean, you're leaving me all alone. No, I'm kidding. But again, I do appreciate you guys coming by this evening. It's been a kind of a small group here tonight, and I appreciate that. I appreciate, again, the right people here. I would rather have 20 of the right people than 1,500 knuckleheads. And sometimes I don't know how when Benjamin does it. I rarely watch his streams. When I do, sometimes I would see he would have like 3,000 or 4,000 people on there, but the chat is going by so fast you can't even read it. And when I slow it down to look at it, I'm like, oh, what the hell? Whoa, people are, yeah. Don't even let me get in there in that. I don't even want to go there. That's what I struggle with, frankly. I struggle with keeping a positive attitude toward those who are challenge me, man. Right? They just they put up such a negative vibe, and they make it so difficult to engage with them. I struggle with it, but I'm learning. Right? As I told Allison, I'm learning from the best. So there's only one of us in this relationship that's perfect, and it's not me. Right? So I'm doing the best I can. Oh, you're gonna get some more writing. That's awesome. Hey, that's can't wait, Bonnie. I appreciate your work and your efforts. Could you request an interview with therapy? You mean you want to have an interview with me, or send me an email, Stephanie. Tell me what you have in mind. Again, happy to help as I can. I do have an interview with Seven Ravenwolf that's been sort of in the wings for a while, and I have to apologize to her that I hadn't gotten it complete. It's almost fully done, and I probably would have had it this week had I not already had Jason on the schedule. So we'll get back to it, so you can look forward to that. I think that'll come up next weekend, Lord willing, the creek don't rise. I think that should, as long as everything stays where it is, doesn't no file corrupts or anything goes wrong, you should be able to count on that for next weekend. Great conversation I had almost a couple of months ago now with Seven Ravenwolf, and I was really kind of stressing over it, and then I realized, everything in its perfect time. Dad works that way so well that I have a feeling it's just going to hit some people. It's going to be perfectly timed. There's something in it that's going to just hit the right person at just the right way at just the right time. I have a sense of that, so I'm going to stop complaining about things that went wrong and look again for the things that went right. So, okay, with that, we're coming up just about an hour. And again, I just want to thank everybody for dropping by this afternoon. Real short visit today, but I have so many things on the plate. I just want to make sure and try to get those things done, and again, spend some time with my lovely bride. But we'll be back again Tuesday morning, very early, 7 o'clock on Pacific time on the West Coast, or rather 6 o'clock on the West Coast on Tuesday and Thursday mornings with Rose 777 for the Poppycock Report. And we'll be back with you again next week for Unintended Consequences at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. And again, 7 o'clock on Sunday for Ancient Wisdom for a Modern World. And Wayne McCroy joins me again next Sunday evening at this time for Sola Scriptura. And hey, thanks, Stephanie. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, if it is a bit like therapy, I think with somebody who listens and is interested in what you have to say. I think sometimes we need that, right? We need someone to listen to us and to pay attention and not just wait for their turn to talk. You know what I mean? And to find common ground. So I hope that you have someone in your life that way, right? Someone that cares about you and someone who's interested in you. Certainly, it is my take that that is the Creator for all of us, who is interested in us and who listens. I find that to be true for me. And so with that, again, I just want to say thanks again so much for everybody, and the time that you spend here, the time that you come by for a visit. Let's see. I will try to find some musical exits so it's not so jarring on the way out. Let's see here. We'll take a look at. All right, we'll do this one. It's called since Joe is here. Streams in the Desert. Joe Ray, Timeless Journey in the chat, and I wrote this song. I'm going to say 1994, something along those lines. So we'll join with that. This was recorded in probably 2002 with another group of folks, but Joe and I wrote this in about 1994. Have a great week, guys, and we'll see you again soon.
toss the dice.